The number one question everyone always asks is who we are and what we're doing. And it boils down to we're a fan group. We're one of hundreds of fan groups doing Ghostbusters stuff globally. Shout out to whoyougonna.call.org. But all of those fan groups, they kind of support different charities. So when we formed, we just kind of were doing parades and stuff. Not, you know, the purpose was to bring joy, but there was nothing behind it, and we kind of hit the realization that we wanted to use that as an avenue to support a charity. So about halfway through our first season, the American Cancer Society reached out to us, and myself and then the leaders in the group kind of all looked at each other and said, like, this is the thing, this is what we need to be doing. I think everyone in the group has been touched in some way by cancer. You know, it was almost unspoken. Everyone just kind of felt that was our purpose. So now, you know, as we do parades, as we do birthdays, as we do everything, you know, the ask is just, you know, we don't want anything for our time. We want someone to, you know, hopefully make a donation if they're able to the American Cancer Society.
Me, because I'm awesome.
Briggs.
Briggs? Who's that?
I mean, Router. Router's Slocum's my favorite. No, Braden's my favorite. No, all of the Nomad Ghostbusters are my favorite Ghostbusters. Check them out, nomadghostbusters.com.
So that is a complicated question for me. I used to say Venkman all the way, but I think I'm just a Bill Murray fan in general. In recent years, I think I'm more of an Egon guy, and then, you know, maybe it's due to the passing of Harold Ramis, but either way, I tend to be more of an Egon person. So that's probably my today answer. It changes.
I would say Ray, probably because he's the most curious and always up for an adventure.
You know what? I love Ray because he works on the cars and he has all the cool stuff. He's just a regular guy, but he's super smart. So he's one of my favorites.
It'd be Ray. That's because he's the heart of the Ghostbusters. I really identify with him. I make lots of mistakes. I feel like I'd be the one calling in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Ray Stantz is my favorite Ghostbuster. He's just kind of that quirky guy that everyone loves, you know, just like me.